Alright, first script of 2026. Let's see what we're doing for the video. Maybe it's a theory, or maybe it's a brand new topic entirely. Oh, it's just a part 2 of the MainSwap series. No new substance. Oh. Happy late New Year, guys! I'm back with another scripted video. Wow, 2026. Such a weird year to say. Not because I've been doing YouTube for long or anything like that, but the number just sounds so weird. Can we go back to 2025? At least the number sounded halfway decent, okay? That's kind of off topic, but what is on topic is the brand new main slot. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, no, not that. What I meant to say is the brand new main swap. Woo, let's go. More swapping, not swap, obviously. As you guys might be able to tell from the intro, we're going to do a part 2 of my main swap video. I would have liked the first scripted video to be something a little bit more original, but the other things I have on the back burner are going to take a little bit more time to get ready, so we're kind of doing this as like kind of filler, kind of not filler. You know, it's kind of like, you know, whatever. So today we're going to be swapping the event names with their mastery partners. Wait, what's that? There's no mastery requirements for the event tunes? I'm making a complete fool of myself? Yeah, so the event mains don't really need mastery requirements unlike the original mains, but I have a workaround around this. I'll just do what I want. But since I don't want to swap someone like Bobette with scraps, I decided to limit myself to the event tunes from the season that the event tunes are from. So here's my lineup. Bobette is getting swapped with Rudy because he was originally speculated to be the Christmas main. Granted, this was not the case, but I still really would like a main like Rudy. Next up, Bassie is getting swapped with Coco for lore irony reasons. Yeah, so, sorry about that, Bassie. And Gordy's getting replaced with Sylvester because I feel like Sylvester has a very good opportunity to become a main with a good ability. Also, I don't really want to do Rebecca or Eclipse either since their abilities are already kind of good. Anyway, before we start, it's disclaimer time. Disclaimer, I have no experience in game balancing whatsoever, and in some cases, these may be overpowered. I just want to remind you guys that these are concepts, and you are free to criticize or tweak the abilities or stats as much as you like. These are just concepts after all, and I am greatly appreciative of constructive criticism. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, make sure to like and subscribe. It's free, helps my channel grow, and now we can finally start the video. Let's start with our first and current event, Christmas. I really like the designs of the Christmas tunes. They're probably one of my favorite design-wise, but their kits, other than Rudy, surprisingly, are not the greatest, per se. Thankfully, their abilities do have some easy fixes we can implement. Honestly, I might make a video reworking some of the bad tunes, like Scraps or Toodles. It could be a very interesting topic. Anyway, let's start with Bobette, since honestly I think her kit is changed the least. She's a survivalist, but her kit is kinda different. Not really entirely, but you know, it's alright. In my Bobette rework, Bobette has 4-star skill check, 3-star movement speed, 4-star stamina, 1-star stealth, and 3-star extraction speed. I kinda gave her more well-rounded-ish stats. I know her stealth might be a bit alarming for most players, but her ability actually makes it pretty good, and she doesn't really need anything above 1-star stealth. Her new-ish ability is Precious Packaging, active. Bobette ducks into a present to protect herself for 6 seconds. In this state, she can move, but it's slower than normal. She can cancel it whenever she wants. Cooldown, 90 seconds. Her speed will be converted to just over 1-star speed. Hey, I don't want to glaze myself too much, but I'd say this kit is much better than her original kit. Granted, the original does have her passive, but mine now has somewhat better extraction speed, so, you know, it's alright. I know this is just a concept, but I do believe if they wanted to make a good survivalist, this could be an okay kit. Maybe not stealth, though, that is kinda chopped. Anyway, let's move on to our favorite reindeer of this update. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, since it was a while ago, but some people speculated that Rudy would have 5-star movement speed and 1-star stealth. Obviously, he doesn't have this in-game, but with his ability, I feel like it'd be really fun to play him as a distractor. So, here's my Rudy stats. Rudy has 3-star skill check, 5-star movement speed, 3-star stamina, 1-star stealth, and 4-star extraction speed. I couldn't really not make him an all-rounder with the 5-star movement speed and 1-star stealth. I really wish there was a way to not give him such good extraction stats, but that's kind of just how stat spreads work in this game. Thankfully, his ability complements distracting really well. His new active ability is Antler Charge, active. Rudy dashes forward in a short burst of movement. He can store up to 3 Antler Charges at once. Cooldown 23 seconds. Whenever there is not 3 stacks stored, cooldown countdown will start. I know this isn't really a creative change, but I personally love the idea of multiple use abilities in game. I honestly feel like it fit Rudy really well since it's just a couple short dashes. But that doesn't really give me anything to talk about regarding his active ability, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on to his next ability. His second ability is pretty obvious, but also pretty nice for a distractor, honestly. This is his second ability, Jingle Bells, passive. I don't know why I decided to name it that, but it's okay. Once Rudy is spotted by a twisted, they will gain a 5-second attention span, making them not so easy to lose. Other tunes can still grab aggro, but the attention span will return back to normal. I'm honestly kind of mixed about this ability. I know I made it, but it just seems too obvious and in some cases kind of unnoticeable. Not to mention that it's annoying for extractor Rudies since it is possible with his 3-star skill check and 4-star extraction speed. If you guys were to give Rudy a passive ability, what would you give him? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, on to the next event, aka the Easter event. Ah, the Easter event. The event where the main feared being replaced. But not just being replaced in general, being replaced by one of her friends. Anyway, let's replace her with her friend. Look, I couldn't pass up this opportunity. I needed to replace Bassie with Coco based on how her lore is with her. It just makes so much sense, okay? Anyway, let's go into her stats. Her stats are 1-star skill check, 4-star movement speed, 3-star stamina, 4-star stealth, and 3-star extraction speed. So she's kinda similar to Cosmo in a way. I would have made her stats a little bit better, but the event tunes typically don't have the best kits. I'd assume this is because they're limited to an event, to be honest, which makes sense. Rudy doesn't count. But that doesn't mean they have to be bad per se. Just not OP like Shelly or Sprout. Anyway, I don't really have a segue for the ability, so let's just go ahead and go over her ability. Bassie's new ability, Springful Sharing, active, is similar to Yada's. Bassie twirls around and drops 3 to 5 items that are completely random from her basket, from the common tier to the very rare tier. Only 3 very rare items can be dropped at a time. Cooldown is 95 seconds. It's kinda like Gigi's and Yada's ability mixed together. I feel like this can come in clutch in some cases. With some of the harder twisted combos, you can drop some stamina items, or if your team is low, there's a chance that you can drop heals. Of course, the ability drops random items, so good items aren't always guaranteed, but at worst you get some free tapes from it. I wonder who can use all these candy items. Oh wait, I know who. In an alternate universe, Arthur and Delilah decide to go through with replacing Bassie with Coco as the Easter main. Yeah, I don't really know how to make a segue for this. Coco, you love her, or if you're Bassie, you envy her. Either way, she's becoming a main. I decided to give her 3-star skill check, 4-star movement speed, 1-star stamina, 4-star stealth, and 5-star extraction speed. She has pretty solid stats, with good extraction speed and stealth. She only really struggles with stamina, but Dial exists, so she's the perfect extractor and support. Kinda like Shelly. Oh wait, did you guys not know she's also support as well? Yes, she can actually support with her abilities. Let's talk about it. Her first ability is pretty similar to her original, just with some slight tweaks. Bonbon, active. Coco places down a bonbon on the floor that can be picked up by anyone, giving 50% extraction speed and 25% movement speed for 5 seconds. But when Coco uses the bonbon, the effects are amplified, giving 75 extraction speed and 50% movement speed for 7 seconds. Cooldown 40 seconds. I really like her current ability in game. It's somewhat useful for the machines with bad placements, so I decided to just tweak it again. The only tweak I really liked was to give her an extra boost from her own bonbons. The other things were kinda just bad, to be honest. Anyway, remember how I mentioned candy items before? Her passive is actually related to candy items. Sweet Tooth, passive. Whenever Coco eats a stat candy, being skill check candy, speed candy, stamina candy, stealth candy, or extraction candy, she will gain a 15% boost in whatever stat correlates towards the candy, that being speed for speed candy or 15% boost for the stealth candy. Resets each floor. I know I keep on mentioning that I love the concept of an ability, but I would personally love to see an ability tied towards using items. It just seems very obvious for a cool and fun, and also maybe useful ability. Since I don't really have much else to add about this ability, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this would be a really good ability for a Yada main concept, other than it being a passive and her other ability also being a passive, but you know, it's alright. Anyway, that's all I have for the Easter tunes. On to the Halloween tunes. Yeah, I don't really have a segue for this. Gordy! I like Gordy's concept, being the best extractor in the game, stat-wise, but his abilities are just so buns. The passive is okay, I guess, but his active ability is just so bad. Like, a 20% boost is less than Tisha, and she has better range. Granted, he does have a better time for the boost being in effect, being 15 seconds, but 20% in some stats are basically unnoticeable. Not to mention, you can have the same effect with gumballs. You know, instead of ranting about his ability, let's talk about his new kit. I think I complained about abilities a little too much lately. The stats I came up with for Gordy is 4-star skill check, 4-star movement speed, 1-star stamina, 1-star stealth, and 5-star extraction speed. It's not really different per se, I only removed 1 star from his skill check, but what's really different is his new ability. Sugar Rush, passive. Anytime a toon eats a candy item, they will gain a 25% movement speed boost for 10 seconds. When using a multiple charge item such as box or gumballs, only the last charge will take effect. Okay, maybe it's not completely different. He still gives you a movement speed boost, it's just not limited towards panic mode or the elevator opening. Honestly, Gordy, Coco, and Bassie would be a goated trio if these concepts were real. Bassie and Coco can spawn in candy items, and Gordy gives you a speed boost. Not to mention that 2 out of the 3 of them have good extraction speed, so the floors will go really fast. The only problem with this is Gordy's stealth, but you can use Rudy to counter this fact. Of course, if they were real, obviously. You know, there's a lot of low stealth toons in this video. If only they had a protector. Can you go to the next? Never fear, the new main Sylvester is here, ready with his blade in hand to protect you. Why did I make this so corny? Oh my god. Let's go over his stats. My Sylvester isn't very different stat-wise. Kind of like Gordy, there's only one stat that really changes. His new stats are 5-star skill check, 2-star movement speed, 1-star stamina, 3-star stealth, and 5-star extraction speed. A whopping 1-star difference. I'm so creative. Yeah. Okay, maybe I wasn't the most creative with the Halloween stats, but at least he's faster and can actually kinda get to machines, other than like how he is now. And with the dial card, he's kind of just a more stealthier V stat-wise, so it should be fine. But now, let's go over his new active ability, because this one is kind of confusing, but I'm sure I'll do a pretty good job explaining this, hopefully. His new ability is Knight's Oath. Active. When this is activated, Sylvester can select a toon in range to swear his oath to. When this happens, anytime this toon gets hit, Sylvester will lose 1 heart, but the toon will be protected. Cooldown, 80 seconds. Oath will be cancelled if Sylvester is on 1. Okay, so I originally thought that this would be his ability when he was teased at first. I mean, he's a knight they're supposed to protect, so it kind of makes sense. He didn't get this ability, sadly, but this could be, honestly, a pretty cool ability. If you could passively protect the distractor or the healers that are low, that could be really useful in runs that are planning to go longer. But yet again, this would be kind of overpowered, I'll admit, and just like half the abilities in this video, I'm not even gonna lie. So it probably won't get into the game. Now, let's go over his second ability, and that ability is Knightly Armor, passive. This toon has an extra heart and is immune to the first range attack on the floor he's targeted by. Yeah, it's basically just the same as his in-game ability. Okay, I'm just gonna be completely honest here. I had no idea that he was immune to range attacks, but apparently he is. Not to mention that it's not just the first range attack, it's all of them. I mean, to be fair, there's only 3 ranged attackers, and he has 0 movement speed, so he probably end up getting hit by them anyway. But he's still completely immune to them. Maybe that's why he ended up being slower than a rock. Anyway, the passive fits in well with his Knightly Oath ability, so I decided to keep it in this concept. Once again, there's not really much to talk about on this ability, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. Alright, now with that out of the way, I finally covered all the events. I feel like these concepts are a little bit more creative than my last part, mostly because the toons don't really have a set role, so I kind of had creative freedom. Anyway, if you guys have any critiques or maybe even an ability concept of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Even though I've swapped all the mains, I definitely will be making more concepts. So if you guys want to see all those concepts, make sure to like and subscribe. I also have other videos on Dandy's World if you're interested, like Dandy's World theories, rants, or even just anything I want to talk about around the game. Anyway, I don't really have much else to say in this outro, so you know, I'm just gonna end it here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!